everybody, Sean from Charleston Crafted here. Today we're going to make a Terrazzo Concrete Side Table using Quikrete Countertop mixed with some broken tiles and different ceramics. We're going to make a base out of some wood. So we're going to show you something pretty interesting. Stay tuned while we show you how to do it. Alright, so the first step on this project is we're going to make our base. So we're going to make a 3-legged triangular base with actually a special little triangular element at the top. And the unique thing about this project is we're actually going to submerge the wood through the concrete to give you an exposed top. I'll show you what we're talking about.
We started out by making all the cuts for our base. We did 3 legs with parallel 10-degree mitered cuts for a flat top. For the special triangular portion that would show through the concrete, we used a jig to make 60-degree cuts on 3 pieces of wood. We then put wood glue on each end and used painter's tape to fold them in on each other. Next, we cut little pieces to connect our legs to the triangular piece. We needed something that would be flush on each side, so we used pocket holes to connect the legs to the little piece, and then we also had pocket holes drilled so that we could connect the little piece, aka the full leg, to the base. We screwed everything together by clamping them down. This wasn't as easy as it looked because it was kind of hard to connect those pieces to the triangle, but we did it. The final thing to do was admire our work. Just kidding, we still had to stain this thing. We used a dark walnut stain because we thought that color would pop really well through the white concrete mix that we were going to use. We wiped everything on with a rag, wiped it off, and then let it dry. Now we could admire our work.
To make this table, the first thing that you need is a mold. We used the bottom of a bucket and hot glued it to a piece of melamine. Then you're going to want to place all of your stones and glass in the bottom of the mold. We used flat marble tile and broken glass tile. Use hot glue to glue pieces along the side of the mold so they'll show on the edge of your terrazzo. Now it's time to mix your concrete. We used Quikrete Concrete Countertop mix in order to have a really nice smooth finish for this tabletop. We actually added some blue RIT fabric dye into the water to give the concrete a blue tint. Stir it in and mix it until you get your concrete to be the texture of runny peanut butter. Add your concrete to the mold on top of the glass and tile that you already stuck in there. You're going to want to use a stick or something to really make sure that the concrete gets into all of the nooks and crannies. Anywhere that the concrete doesn't get is going to be an air bubble, so be careful and take your time to really ensure that it's in there really well. About halfway through adding our concrete, we added a piece of metal mesh that we actually cut out to fit around the base of our table, and this is just going to give it extra stability. Then you're going to add more concrete on top of this mesh. In the end, you should have added enough concrete that all of the stones and mesh are completely covered. Ours is about 2 inches thick. Allow it to dry overnight, remove the mold, flip the table upside down, and then let it dry for another 24 hours. Now you're going to want to sand your fully cured concrete in order to expose the beautiful tile that is hiding just below the surface. I started with 80 grit, then 120, then 220 to get a nice smooth surface. Sort of round off your edges and smooth the outside edge of your table as well. I wasn't able to sand off enough concrete to expose the wood that we really wanted to show through the tabletop. It somehow shifted so there was about 1/4 of an inch of concrete over it, so I busted out the chisel and hammered it out. Once it was sanded and clean, we decided to add a layer of epoxy on the top of the table. This served a couple of purposes, but it would seal the concrete as well as create an even surface. It was pretty uneven from all of my chiseling, so this was a great way to smooth it out. We love how this table turned out. I'm obsessed with the triangles of the legs peeking through the top, and of course, in love with how easy it was to make DIY terrazzo at home using Quikrete Countertop mix. I hope that this inspired you to try it yourself.